Hello, everybody.
I'm back.
Patrick is back from his Mormon mission in the Congo.
Yep.
We'll
Are we going to delve into that later?
Yeah, we'll delve into that later. But with us also is our friend Owen Schumacher.
Hi, everyone. Nice to be here.
Of course, Patrick is back, and I am Bryant Goldstein. And let's first go through our sponsors.
LegalZoom. Back again for episode...
Quattro.
4 for English speakers. Native English speakers.
If you put in the promo code, that's UMM, all lowercase, you will get 30% off all death certificates, last will and testaments,
Marriage licenses,
enterprising procedures,
LLCs,
right?
Copyrights,
and Prodcast establishments.
Yeah,
I suppose.
Yeah,
if that's your thing.
I mean, if you're an idiot and do podcasts.
Yeah, that's not our thing.
That's not cool. Also, there is opticremix.com. That is optic-remix.
Should I time this one?
Sure. For all your sunglasses needs, Optic Remix has you covered. We're the #1 sunglass deck, or always on deck, #1 connect, whatever. Buy 2 pairs of any of our sunglasses and get 1 free. Shipping is free as always, and there's no tax. So optic-remix.com to get steezed up from the knees up because it's summertime.
That was actually over 30 seconds, so they're going to owe us double for that.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I was just thinking, Optic Remix has you covered, as in your eyes covered, right? Okay. That's
it's
smart.
very literal.
All right.
So they cover your eyes, and we cover everything else.
Yeah. Now, panties, of course, cover a different part of your body. So that would be a different brand, a different tagline.
Where are you going with this?
Well, I'm just talking about the other things you can wear that cover you. And Optic Remix has you covered where your eyes are concerned.
But, you know, I would think that other things, like a watch, you know, it's very simple, but protects you from skin cancer.
On your wrist.
Yeah,
on your wrist.
Just that.
Sunglasses just cover your eyes.
Is that why...
Are there sunglasses for your belly button?
Is that why so many guys on the East Coast, like Guido types, wear the thin gold chains so they can protect themselves in the sun? Just that one little spot, that ring with the little gold chain?
I would like to think so. Maybe there's like a genetic predisposition to like that area of the chest.
Yeah, maybe that's just in their genes over there.
You know, I actually visited a dermatologist one time, and he told me I should wear an oversized prop wristwatch for my entire midsection.
Like a
to
championship
stave
belt.
off skin cancer in that area. So he actually suggested wear tons of wristwatches to cover your body.
The coolest guy at the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah. CVS Pharmacy. If you put in the promo code Micrenus, you will get...
Actually, I was wondering about that. How would the listener spell that?
Micrenus?
Yes,
that
Micrenus.
Micreanis.
Ding.
EA?
Yeah.
Why?
How
would it be a double E?
I'm thinking MICRINES. Or NIS.
Micrenus? That is more Greek sounding.
Yeah. CRENIS.
You know, I'm gonna have to change the promo code. I'm gonna have because that's what I sent to CVS for them to put in. They're not gonna be happy about that. It's a huge computer glitch. It's gonna take them a lot of time.
Their customer service line is gonna get tons of calls.
It'll actually it'll cost them millions of dollars to backtrack and change.
Yeah,
that code.
because there's already been so many people that've been putting in the way
they had the graphics guys send everything to publishing. And they printed just thousands of flyers.
But either way you spell it, you get 30% off all nail polish needs.
It's a free-form spelling promo code.
Yeah.
Just type in
If you
letters.
get close enough, it's like a capture code. And then Bear Paint.
Bear Paints.
BEHR, Bear, for all your outdoor painting needs. Yep. And then
Bear, BEAR, will not be acceptable, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
That will not fall under the capture code.
Well, they'll actually find you for that.
Well, that's the English spelling of bear, and that's stupid. We prefer the German spelling of bear.
Yeah.
Isn't that the German spelling? Or the German spelling of bear is BAER, isn't it?
There's a lot of pride in this room.
There is a lot of German pride.
We just need to let go of all that pride.
Except for this stinking Irishman over here.
Stinking Irish Cuban over here.
And then, are we missing any? Oh, Zappos. That's right, Zappos. If you put in the promo code PRODCAST, you will get free shoes for life. Forever.
Yes.
And you know that that's a good deal because we gave them our Prime promo code.
Yeah, you don't even need to buy anything.
No, you don't.
You just go to the checkout, you put in the promo code, and you're done, son.
And this even applies to the real conspicuous consumers, like what's her face from Sex and the City. I don't pretend to know the character names, but you know how they were lovers of shoes. You could be a crazy chick like one of them and put that code in and still get like really high priced couture Italian shoes, limitless. That seems like a policy that would bankrupt Zappos.
I don't know if they carry those though, those high priced shoes.
Well,
maybe they're getting rid of that stock once the Prodcast promo code comes into effect.
Well, Zappos is taking on this deal because nobody listens to us.
Exactly. It's a dare.
It's a win.
Yeah, free shoes for life.
Yeah, if anybody's gonna listen, idiot.
That was a really short meeting we had with them. It was productive though. We all came out smiling.
It was mostly them laughing.
We're laughing too. Here we are laughing.
Exactly.
So
we get free shoes for life.
We all are wearing shoes.
Yeah.
That we got from Salvation Army.
Yep. That's mine at least.
And then there's definitely one more sponsor that I know of, and Owen will
well, I don't know whether we should mention it anymore. I thought we were going to let it go, but Tommy Lasorda Baseball for the Sega Genesis is celebrating its 20th anniversary, or so I thought, but it might actually be its 25th anniversary. I'm not absolutely sure as to the release date, but it feels like an anniversary of some kind, and that's the important part.
Maybe we should actually ask Tommy Lasorda. We should have him on the podcast.
Yeah, maybe. Well, we can get him to call in. He's friends of ours.
It's been released for the Nintendo Wii, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3. You can go online and download it for $1, and the proceeds will go to Tommy Lasorda, who lay sick from gout, ladies and gentlemen.
LASIK gout. You know, LASIK eye surgery.
Yeah,
and that'd be the treatment for the gout.
This was an AP style delivery, and I didn't know where to put the comma. So,
and Micrinus. Also, celebrating its 20th anniversary is Jod Madden Football 92 for the Sega Genesis, brought to you by Electronic Arts.
Yes.
And our pending lawsuits are also sponsored by LegalZoom.
Absolutely.
I think this is the longest intro we've done without going into the show.
And you know what that means? It's time for the intro music.
Absolutely right. Time. So go ahead and launch.
Podcast. Tommy Lasorda. How does it feel? It sort of feels like a radio show. Lots of Micrinus. Know what I mean-us? Lay, lady, lay. This was my idea. And I feel I did good.
Well, you pulled it off.
I did. But that actually reminds me, I was at a Halloween party about 2 years ago, and I met someone that said he could do a good Bob Dylan impression. Mm-hmm. And I did my Bob Dylan impression for him, And then he totally destroyed my Bob Dylan impression.
Really?
He could do like later Bob Dylan. He could do current Bob Dylan. He could even do like protest era Bob Dylan. So I felt like
could he do contemporary Bob Dylan singing Christmas carols?
Oh, now that would be tough. But maybe when Christmas comes around, maybe there'll be another party.
Okay.
How
about speaking voice Bob Dylan? Like, was it always sing-songy?
It was
Bob
sing-song.
Dylan? Okay.
Maybe I could work. Like, I felt like that kid that wins like the school spelling bee, and then he goes to like the regional spelling bee, and then gets totally slaughtered by like kids that are way better. So
because you weren't homeschooled by Indian parents.
No, I wasn't.
So of course you were ruled out.
Yeah.
So that means that there's a better version of Pat out there. I could have him be the new co-host.
That's true. That's true. But I've just returned from the Congo, so I feel
You're
like
rusty.
I should have a grace period.
So how did you recover from being slaughtered in the contest?
I just, I went inside. I might have gone to the bathroom, and I just came out.
You just did a couple lines of coke.
Yeah.
You were on top of the world again.
I did weep. I wept silently because I didn't want to.
But it was actually your gout.
It wasn't my party, so I couldn't cry if I wanted to.
It was your eczema.
Was that Dusty Springfield? Who did that one?
I'm not sure. It's a very classic line.
Yeah. Well, Bob Dylan.
I couldn't help but think of all the times we joke about Bob Dylan, and how simple his songs are, and when I hear the podcast theme, I just want to scream out the chord names, like how we joke around with Bob Dylan.
Do you know the chord names for it?
C, G. That's every Bob Dylan song. I think it's just C, G, D, and E.
But they're good chords,
Yeah. All you need is 3 chords and the truth.
Yeah, that's
You know
true.
that.
What was that? Kurt Cobain?
Or Johnny Cash. I don't know who said it.
Somebody that's simplistic.
I think it was first coined by Macronus.
Man,
in ancient Greece.
We've already begun.
Pythagoras.
Pythagoras.
Thought about it.
I was actually reading John Frusciante's blog, and for some reason he mentions Pythagoras a lot.
I guess he's an avid follower.
And I think that's common for a lot of ex-drug addicts. They get really into Pythagoras.
Yeah.
As opposed to
people like you who go to the Congo for Mormon missions.
Hey, man.
Oh, about that.
Yeah,
how was the Congo?
It was very last minute, and because I really wanted to be here, because I actually heard, for the listeners that are just hearing last week's show, I just heard last week's show very, very few minutes ago, and I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I wish I would have been here. But, when God calls, when the children of the Congo call,
yes,
through telephones to Prodcast hotlines, you just can't say no to them.
When you put on the gold spectacles,
gold spectacles and make a spectacle.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I think what everyone is thinking, what's on their minds, is how is the cuisine in the Congo?
I found it enjoyable, but I'm glad to be back here with McDonald's and Taco Bell.
Yeah,
in Downey, California.
What did they serve you, by the way?
What did they serve me? They served me ants.
Okay.
Fire ants, actually.
Okay.
Which is an unusual cuisine, but
a little spicy.
It's a little spicy, and I'm not used to spicy food, contrary to my Cuban heritage. But I enjoyed it, and I wish I could have brought some back for you guys.
Did they have any Bailey's Irish Cream?
No, but I wouldn't have drank it if it was
How
there.
about Hennessy?
No. Maybe in the in different quarters.
Now, did you have any luck in converting your brothers and sisters there in the Congo?
At first I was a little confused because I went over there under the auspices that it was the Church of Lateral Movement, not the Church of Latter-day Saints.
Okay,
so
interesting confusion.
And I just felt like I was just moving them, but not moving them physically. I was moving them physically, but not spiritually. And it's not as successful.
Is it sort of like Pilates?
Yeah, it actually is a lot like Pilates. And Pilates is something that is hard to pull off, almost as hard as last-minute missions to the Congo by bicycle, especially through the moon.
Did you ever pull it out?
No, of course not.
Did you watch the movie Congo in the
No,
Congo.
I have seen the movie Congo. That was the one about the gorilla, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that would scare the locals, I would assume.
You know, how's this for a tangential connection to Taco Bell? I remember when there was a promotional burrito at Taco Bell tied to Congo, the movie.
Really?
Yes, and it had special Congo sauce.
Yeah, you know...
And it was kind of a take on mayonnaise. It was like a spicy, chili powder-laden sauce. And I was thinking, I wish the Congo burrito was here to stay.
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't a temporary promotional burrito.
We need the sequels of the movie Congo to get that back on
We
track.
all know that's not going to happen.
It should, though.
The volcano products at Taco Bell kind of have that. I think that's just the Congo sauce.
Yeah.
Under the auspices of Dante's Inferno, the movie, that was a little later than the Congo movie.
That was with Pierce Brosnan, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Not Sam Neill. Pierce Brosnan. Very different Englishman.
I actually saw on the show's Facebook that Sam Neill just liked the show.
I don't know who Sam Neill is, so you might have to
Oh, Sam Neill
get me
was
privy to this.
essentially the star of Jurassic Park. I mean, it was an ensemble cast, but
Yeah.
he was the guy who had the safari hat and the neckerchief. Remember the red?
I saw
scarf.
that movie when I was very young, so I just remember Jeff Goldblum, mostly.
Yeah. No, Sam Neill was a great asset to that film.
The Congo, I've read, is one of the most dangerous places in the world. How did you deal with that? Were you in a safe place?
You know, coming from the mean streets of Downey, California, home to Tommy Lasorda, and I forget who else we
Roger Daltrey.
Roger Daltrey, who was a pretty tough guy, even though he's smaller.
Yeah.
You know, I just use those inspirations, you know, because they're actually mentors to me, you know, on a personal level.
And plus, that Downey blood is instinctual.
Yeah.
It's in your genes.
Yeah, and
I'm talking about not your blood, but your genes.
my blood in my jeans.
Yeah.
Now, did you draw on your experience with capoeira, the Brazilian martial art?
No, actually, I'm not a fan of that. Like, that's too dancey for me. And I was more into teaching them line dancing as opposed to dance.
Capoeira.
Capoeira.
Yeah, capoeira.
Have you tried it, Owen?
In my bedroom at night when I'm alone and drunk,
Oh.
I have tried it, and I was actually very graceful and beautiful. I do it very well, but it was never captured on camera, and I will never do it again.
That's interesting, though, that you did it while drunk, because I would assume that, you know, to do any sort of martial arts, you need this, like, really calm center. So is it like, are you, for capoeira, are you like the Jackie Chan, like, the drunken master style, that you can do it better while you're drunk?
Normally, I'm kind of an uptight person, so I need to loosen up, and to find my center, sometimes alcohol is necessary.
Oh, yeah.
Do women only do capoeira? Because I would think that capoeira would be for men.
Yeah, you'd think the masculine would be capoeira.
I'm so disappointed in myself for that joke. I could have done so much better.
We're all shaking off the rust.
Oh, boy.
So you taught the children line dancing.
Line dancing, lateral movement.
And had they any prior experience with line dancing?
I don't think so. You know, the locals, they have their own. There's a certain flavor for the locals, and
Yeah.
you know, I had to bring some Downey, California by
Now,
way
do they
of.
see you as the missionary, as the foreign white person who's come to change their way of life
Actually,
and instill values that they would normally reject, but because you're giving them food,
Did they just blow darts at you?
no, they actually saw me as God, himself in the flesh.
So you were Joseph Smith.
I was Joseph Smith, and you know, I'm sure that we have at least 2,000 new listeners at this moment because of my
Really?
trip. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're big
So
in the Congo now.
Yeah, so I would like a thank you, maybe.
They're actually making a bronze statue of you right now.
Yeah, you know, in the form of our profile picture on Facebook.
And they were really nice and gave you a Macronus.
They did
statue.
a bronzed one. It was actually Napoleon's. I don't know how they came upon it, but it is now mine.
Yeah, and the creepy part is that his member is actually inside that sculpture.
Yeah.
This isn't, a cast that's empty. It really does have the DNA of Napoleon behind that.
It has some substance.
And his member actually
Literally.
has a little members-only jacket. It's true.
It's very official, no one else.
You know who is really into line dancing? Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen.
And did you know that Ozzy wrote Snowblind about line dancing?
Is that the one where they cough at No, that's Sweet Leaf.
Yeah.
That's about a whole nother kind of line dancing, I would assume.
Ants, as the story goes.
Yeah.
By the way, the second Armenian genocide would have to be Serge Tankian's cover of Snowblind.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just unforgivable. The Turkish should demand an apology for that awful, awful cover.
On account of Black Sabbath,
I demand more airplay for it.
Actually, it would be funny if we had it now, because it's truly terrible.
Is it just, does he play all the instruments, or is it...
No, it's actually System of a Down. It's not just Serge Tankian.
So he doesn't even let the other guys get credit anymore, just him? That's terrible. But I guess
Owen's just like saying his name.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. So it is System of the Down.
Is it Serge Tankian or Serge Tankian?
I haven't cared as much to even learn the guy's name.
It's weird because you have all those T-shirts. System of a Down.
I just spat all over you. I'm sorry.
Well, it's hot in the garage.
And we've resorted to spitting on each other
just
to keep cool.
It's a Congo custom that Owen picked up after we channeled you in the fifth dimension.
I have to say that I didn't even feel it. The seance, you
didn't feel us pulling on you supernaturally.
I didn't. I was sitting in a bunk. I was reading a Mad magazine, actually a back issue. It's my favorite one. It has,
you're only into the back issues.
Exactly. The back issues are where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even looked at a Mad magazine currently. A concurrent issue.
I mean, Al Jaffe all the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Pat's really into King magazine, specifically the back issue, if you know what I mean.
Every issue's the back issue.
Because you want to give it back to whoever gave it to you?
Of course not.
Well, they can get it. But I'm going to give it. Anyways.
See, now he's going to do his
But I have no one to spit on.
I wonder if Lexington Steele has ever appeared in King magazine. He's been kind enough to post for us for an advertisement.
That's
on
right.
Facebook
He did
page.
that promo. He's a wonderful guy to meet. Has a great bedside manner, so to speak.
Former stockbroker, so he's a smart guy too.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. Really easygoing, fun to work with.
Amateur gynecologist.
Has a lot to give.
There's a lot to give.
Real natural in front of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Although I can't believe it's natural, but that thing really is.
We're talking about his nose.
Yeah, he hasn't had work done on his nose.
But would a porn star need to get work done on his face? Because I would assume just like his low, from the neck down, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, I don't think it does matter, because have you seen that one guy who looks like a pirate?
Ron Jeremy?
No.
Yeah, the guy with the long, dirty blonde hair.
Oh, yeah.
He's got like braids too. He's got like this.
Does he have a gap between his front teeth?
I think so, and he usually wears like a bandana. Like he kind of looks like he looks like a dirty pirate Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm. He does great work.
You've never seen that guy, Pat?
I have not.
You're a dirty bird. You watch more porn than any person ever.
Wow, that's quite a lot, even though it's completely untrue.
Your girlfriend's listening too.
There's probably some guy in South Korea who
some guy in the Congo.
Some guy in the Congo who has Pat beat.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I'm sure they're trying to call in, but alas, we've cut the phone lines for now.
He's probably a guy in the Congo with one of those special crank laptops, where you don't plug it into a wall outlet.
It's just you speak through the little microphone on the...
And so he's got to crank it in order to crank.
Well, we're waiting for their call.
and they use Ubuntu, the operating system, which is actually a word created in Congo.
Oh,
yeah.
I was
Congonian.
Word, yeah.
It's Congonian.
We're just gonna make every country mad on the planet.
Or is it Congolese?
I think it is Congolese. Actually,
I think it is Congolese.
They're known for their Kong guinea pigs.
Really? Didn't know that.
As opposed to regular guinea pigs, American guinea pigs.
I really hope this isn't another pending lawsuit. We're gonna have to call LegalZoom.
You know, I think it's gonna be kind of like a fear and loathing situation where we're gonna accumulate so many lawsuits in our name that a judge will just be like, this is just a joke. One of my contemporaries is just playing a joke on me.
I think we're gonna have to relocate to Belize or something like that.
Yeah, pirate broadcasting.
Yeah, we could parlay the whole unfortunate situation into some kind of art exhibit or something like that.
Traveling art exhibit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it's actually Dada.
Yeah, it is, and it's very underground. And that's the only word to be. Underground.
It's very Zheng. Zhengyan.
I guess.
This is just small talk, guys.
What do you guys think of Kroger's?
The grocery store?
Yeah.
Ralph's?
Yeah, because they call them Kroger's in other parts of... Actually, I guess in Northern California there's some Kroger's.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you guys think of Kroger's? If there's a Kroger's and a Ralph's right next to each other, which one would you go to?
Probably Ralph's, because I'm more used to that one. Kroger's just...
I'm a creature of comfort, so I'm going to have to go Ralph's.
I'm going to go Kroger's because you guys are capitalist pigs.
But so is Kroger's. It's not
Kroger's.
It's not any less.
Kroger's was founded in Congo blood, fighting for
the revolution,
the distribution of goods to people with micrinus.
Like any supermarket.
Well, this is not unlike the difference between Hardee's and Carl's Jr.
Yeah, that's
Would you
true.
go to a Hardee's?
I think I'd go to a Hardee's.
I do like that name
because I like
Carl's
to try
Jr.
new things. I'm adventurous. I'd like to eat my superstar at Hardee's.
Yeah. Are the burgers still called Famous Star and Superstar at Hardee's?
I think so.
They're called there's the Big Hardy.
The Big Hardy. The small Hardy.
Super Hardy.
The Super Hardy.
Yeah, I'll take Super Hardy with no onions, thank you.
A double Super Hardy.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah. Then there's the Famous Hardy.
Oh. That doesn't have any...
That's the Lexington Steel, right?
And then you can get the Super Hardy animal style.
I thought that was just the In-N-Out thing, though. Is there any intermingling?
It's a deal.
Oh. It definitely is a deal, I can tell. Strange deal, but it's a deal.
And then the fun pack for multiple people is the Super Hardy Gangbang, it's called. And you can get that animal style as well.
Man,
just for the kids.
You're really starting to feel the calories when it gets animal style, in the
calories
gangbang.
leaving you and entering you. It's just it's a calorie transition.
Hi, one gangbang to go, animal style, thank you.
Why don't we open a restaurant?
Would it be a gangbang themed restaurant? Because we can't have animal style because that's already taken. We don't have that deal.
It would just be...
we can't have Hardee's because that's already a name as well.
Actually, I'm not sure if animal style is trademarked because it's not on the menu. It's just part of a secret menu.
It's like
it could be they don't have this in writing. Who would be and we can put it in writing and own that phrase that ordinarily is associated with In-N-Out, but we can just co-opt it.
Maybe we need to contact LegalZoom about this.
Exactly. This is another case for LegalZoom.
If it doesn't get all over the place...
It doesn't belong at Carl's Jr.?
I don't know.
We have to work on that.
Finish that.
We need to hire a marketing...
Who would be the mascot? Ava Devine?
She's a little old, though. We want someone young and fresh, don't we? Bryant?
I think gangbangs don't discriminate.
Would we want a male or a female as our mascot? That's the question.
A penetrating male or a penetratee?
A perpetrating female.
How about well, wait, she retired, but Sasha Grey wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, she's too skinny.
She's doing actual movies now.
She's too skinny. She wouldn't eat at our Hardee's style restaurant.
Yeah, but
we need a chunker.
But that's the thing. Like they had I remember Carl's Jr. had a commercial not too long ago that had like they had a few of them actually. Models eating hamburgers, so we could just follow that model.
What if it
wasn't
any sort of porn personality, but like Vin Diesel?
But why? Why Vin Diesel?
Because he's the only one we could find.
But we could find anybody. Like for the right amount, we could find anybody.
Well, you got to remember that we're moving to Belize next week.
Not the Congo. Pat made all those inroads in the Congo. We're not moving over there.
Our listenership is off.
I don't think Pat got the email, but there's a backlash.
He's like Coney now. He's the new Coney.
Well, they actually call him Patrick Coney.
There's no such thing as bad publicity, I've heard.
No, Patrick Coney.
Coney Delaney.
Little kids are having wetmares about him.
Anyways.
But they're remembering it.
By the way, about Vin Diesel. Just a couple days ago, I was watching this YouTube clip thrown up by some user with way too much time on his hands. And it was about how short Vin Diesel truly is. You were actually talking about this, I think, on the first episode.
Yeah.
And it had pictures of him next to Chuck Norris, who I think is about 6 feet. And he was a little bit under Chuck Norris, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then at other occasions where he was maybe like at a premiere for a movie where he's got to be Mr. Showbiz, he wears these special custom boots, these old school leather boots that have like a heel that are about 3 inches tall.
Really?
Yeah, and he looks like Louis XIV.
He looks like he's gonna hunt some vampires or something.
Yeah.
He's got some real platforms on.
Well, he's a trooper for doing it, I guess.
There are ways to compensate.
Yeah.
Well, how tall do you think he is? Like 5'8"?
Yeah, the conclusion made by the guy who put up the video was that he was about 5'9". Yeah.
So Vin Diesel could just be sitting here, right here in my chair.
Yeah.
He could be the new co-host.
That's above average, though. I mean, what's the average height for males in the U.S.? It's 5'8", isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's about 5'7", 5'8".
Yeah, so...
Something to be said for being strict, largely in the average.
But, I mean, still, just not as badass as me and Owen, I guess.
No. You would make Vin Diesel, crumble in fear at the sight of...
We'd send him to the Congo.
No, yeah.
He wouldn't know what to do.
He wouldn't. He doesn't even know how to line dance. That guy has got no skills except in his 3-inch high boots.
He better pray to God, who is Patrick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel was actually spotted with Charlie Sheen line dancing at the Playboy Mansion,
which you were actually invited to.
And they both contracted Legionnaire's disease, incidentally.
Which I didn't. I had all my
all your shots,
all my shots beforehand, like a good citizen that goes to other countries.
Now, Bryant, you had a chance to go to the Playboy Mansion at one time. You want to speak about that?
This is like a week ago.
Yeah. Now you turned it down, though.
No, it turns out that my friend couldn't get me in. So
okay.
Just security was too tight. But the initial offer was there.
So you would have gone otherwise?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not my. I mean, I'm more of it's not my people.
You're more of an FHM person, or
well, it's not. It's just
Cavalier.
Those aren't my people. Like I want to go back to the Congo with Pat, and that's where I feel like I belong.
Well,
you want to exploit the women there because they're more natural.
Because Pat and I used to take a private jet to the Congo on the weekends. And this was actually before Pat was Mormon.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, the western part of the Congo is really... You've never experienced parties like that before in your life. And then when Pat got saved, talking to a Mormon who approached him on his doorstep about a year ago, that's when Pat really started taking the missions... Yeah. Exclusively to the Congo, so seriously, because we have the Congo in our heart.
Mm-hmm. And I became a missionary. I was on top of all the missionaries.
Mm-hmm. Now, I thought theologically...
And now he's God.
Exactly.
Yeah, the promotion scheme is.
I thought theologically, Mormons were for a works-based salvation. So I don't know whether you can solidify your salvation instantly in a moment when you actually have to finish out a lifetime of good works before you can even be considered for salvation.
We're actually working on removing that glass ceiling of salvation. Most religions, there's that glass ceiling. And they can't get to heaven. Heathens in heaven. That's the new program we're starting. Removing that glass ceiling.
Do you remember that Cure song, "Heathens in Heaven"?
I don't, but I'm glad that they're paying tribute. Before I thought of the phrase.
The intro to this podcast kind of has a Cure flavor, I think. That naive,
marimba,
winsome kind of quality.
Well, I think it doesn't.
Okay. Well, there goes that conversation.
No, I was actually listening to the dating game theme over and over again.
Yeah.
On repeat. And that's what inspired me.
Dating game. That's some unusual conversations. But unusual conversations, the best ones, between news anchors. That is the most awkward TV you can find on normal channels.
It's just zero flow.
Yeah, the segment is over, and then they talk. They'll joke like, "Oh yeah, I wouldn't want to do that."
Yeah,
and
they have to throw in some color commentary.
Yeah, because they want to. I'm sure their producer is like off camera going, "Show some personality, show some personality."
Yeah,
and it just comes off so forced and awkward.
I like it when they show there's always some it's like a petting zoo or something like that, and then they flip back to the studio, and then the anchors are like, "Oh, that would be great, petting those alpacas or whatever.
I wish I was petting a kitty right now."
Yeah.
Back to you, Mark.
And then they go to the sports guy, and then he's like, yeah, they in sports, right? And then there's
I think the sports guys are the most enthusiastic.
Yeah, because there's more colorful characters, in the sports world.
Now, no offense to our female listeners, but what about when the female co-anchor tries to weigh in on sports?
Yeah.
Just to keep the conversation going. She's like, "Hey, what about Kobe?"
Yeah. Yeah, that is awkward.
It is awkward.
And all they could ever talk about is women's soccer, and nobody cares about that.
They don't even care about it. That's how bad it's gotten.
Yeah.
There's no solidarity between women anchors and women soccer players.
Why do all girls play soccer growing up?
Or no, they play lacrosse too.
They play lacrosse?
Probably because it's not a contact sport. You're not throwing each other around.
Soccer's quite a bit of contact.
Yeah, it can be.
They sweep each other's legs
But isn't that a penalty when you do that?
Not always.
Not always.
That's a slippery slope between a clean hit and a dirty hit in soccer.
Sweep. If you sweep somebody from behind, that's a yellow card usually. Okay. But if you sweep out in front of somebody, if they're going in that direction and you cut off their trajectory, their momentum, then yeah. And if they happen to trip over your leg, then yeah. But pretty much you're just blocking the ball.
Then I don't know why girls gravitate towards soccer then.
Yeah, because, there's a lot of injuries in soccer. There's a lot of fake injuries, too.
Yeah, I've heard that that's a problem.
But lacrosse.
I think that's rougher, because those are actual, bludgeoning tools, to hit each other with.
I never talk to girls. So... I don't know
to each other.
So there's a wide chasm between us and girls.
Yeah, so I don't know about this lacrosse thing.
I do talk to girls, and I've seen them play lacrosse.
So you know the other side.
Yeah, I've seen the other side, and
Tell me, what are they like?
It's pretty similar to most girl conversations are pretty similar to this podcast right here.
What is it like talking to them?
The tone of your voice, it kind of alarmed me, but I realize that it's coming from a special place in your heart that you really want to know.
I want to know, are they soft?
They are soft, and the more you touch them, the softer that they get. They melt. They melt when you touch them. Just like a kiss.
And how expensive...
Gene from Calabasas called yesterday, and if for those of you who don't know,
Last week.
episode 3, Gene from Calabasas, a.k.a. Gene Simmons.
Yes.
Kiss fame.
Absolutely.
Wasn't that crazy?
And his cell phone connection wasn't so great, but he had a lot of things to say. He was very complimentary about this broadcast.
I actually noticed that a lot of the guests were complimentary of me, which made me feel good.
Yeah.
You know,
you
coming back,
were missed.
coming back
Yeah,
from the Congo.
everyone missed you, Pat.
Yeah.
Or Bat.
And
Bat.
it's a shame that you were out of the room for that, Owen.
Yeah.
That you were taking a shump. For those of you who don't know or didn't listen to the episode, it's a shower dump.
Yeah, it's a simultaneous shower and dump.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But, man, hopefully we can get Gene actually in the studio sometime
Exactly.
and not have him call in. That'd be great if we could have him.
Yeah,
have
that way we
arranged.
wouldn't have to deal with the bad connection problem.
Yeah.
And he could probably give us some tips about getting new sponsors.
Yeah.
That guy is a
he's-
marketing genius.
Oh, yeah. If anybody knows about sponsors, it's Gene Simmons.
Now, he almost won Celebrity Apprentice, right?
Actually, he got ruled out pretty early on in the competition. I actually remember this distinctly. He was in a challenge, an assignment that was hosted by Kodak. And Gene kept insisting on this certain tagline. Even though they already had an existing slogan, Gene wanted to actually foundationally rebrand Kodak's slogan, and he said he wanted it to be a Kodak world. It's a Kodak world.
Is he responsible for Kodak's financial problems?
Yeah, and so he's in the boardroom talking to the Kodak executives, and he's like, it's got to be a Kodak world, you know? And they're like, Gene, we already have a slogan. That's not a part of the assignment. We don't want you to change that. And he was insistent. Like, this was going to change everything if we just have this tagline.
Did you know that the whole time Gene was talking to Kodak, that he actually thought it was Klondike the whole time? And he actually thought that he was going to be selling ice cream sandwiches.
All these K's, Kiss, Klondike.
It's a Klondike world.
Well, that's the triple K right there.
It's a triple K.
Man, and he's Jewish.
He is Jewish.
Yeah.
So some passionate, I have no clue.
Man.
He and the KKK have not gotten along in the past.
No. It's a conflict of interest. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Well, that's why Gene moved to the Congo. And,
Not spelled with a K, actually.
yeah.
Spelled with a solid C.
Sometimes Q,
Q.
if you're on the Spanish side of the Congo.
Yeah. You know, that reminds me, when Muammar Gaddafi...
Or Casino Morongo.
When Muammar Gaddafi, former dictator of Libya, for those who don't know, was killed, journalists had a hard time consistently writing his name, consistently spelling his name, where it would be a Q and then it would be a K.
Yeah, I remember.
And no one ever figured out how to consistently spell that name. So you just reminded me of that.
And that really sucks because that was going to be our next promo code for HP, PhotoSmart printers. If you put in the promo code
Any attempted spelling of Gaddafi.
of Muammar Gaddafi,
Yeah, exactly. Go for it.
that you
Is it KH? Is it just a K? Is it Q?
And the promo code "Go for it" just
Yeah.
doubles
Yeah.
the.
it goes from
Bank them on top of
25
each
to
other.
50%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing on YouTube, again with a YouTube story, there was this clip of some 80s sitcom that had Matthew Perry from Friends in it. This was his job before Friends, before he was ever famous in that. And it was this weird skit on the show where it was St. Peter in heaven. You know, he was at the pearly gates, and he was, you know, accepting new entrants. And, you know, if you didn't measure up, he would cast you into hell. So then the big joke is that Muammar Gaddafi shows up, right? Well, from the standpoint of the show, this was a projection into the future because Gaddafi was, later going to be killed at some date. Well, the date was something like July 2011 or something like that. So it was this eerily accurate forecast by a stupid 80s sitcom.
Wow.
Isn't that where we get all our wisdom from, though?
Yeah, Alf.
Our collective wisdom.
Yeah, it was just a really strange thing that happened on TV.
Did you know that when Muammar Gaddafi got to the pearly gates, Alan Parsons was still waiting in line?
Was he working on a project?
He was actually begging for change on the side of the gates.
No re-releases
looking for
Alan
junk
Parsons
money.
project.
Actually, loose change in heaven, though, is really valuable because all the coins are gold and various precious metals. So
Yeah. And he was just trying to make it back to Joshua Tree to visit Lasorda.
And he was really serious, which is a song by the Alan Parsons Project.
Yeah. He was also in The Birds, wasn't he? For a little bit?
I don't think so. Alan Parsons?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Should we look it up?
I'm thinking of Graham Parsons.
Graham Parsons.
That's what I'm
he was in
thinking
The
of.
Birds. And he is...
Man, I just realized I screwed up that joke.
Yeah. And
From the last podcast.
yeah.
I was thinking of the wrong Parsons.
And I took it in a totally different direction.
Yeah.
And I ruined successive jokes
Yeah.
on my own.
Man, I'm disappointed in myself now.
we're
Fuck
basically
Alan Parsons.
Me too. Me too. I'm disappointed in myself.
we're basically going to have to backtrack and start about 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, I think we're just going to throw out everything that we recorded.
As we're recording it, we're going to record, 10-second snippets and then delete them immediately after we
It
record
could be
them.
post-production magic. We can go back and just re-record. I'm going to re-record myself saying, Graham.
Graham Parsons.
Wasn't it National S'mores Day? Speaking of Graham.
Graham crackers, yeah.
I think it was
Maybe
National S'mores Day a week or two ago. I guess Americans are really bored.
They are.
And they gotta start naming things. Naming
Holidays.
after.
Boats.
Yeah. Like National Cardboard Box Day.
It's a really Marxist thing, It's,
Yeah, you'd think there'd be something of more historic or societal import than s'mores.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
But not as tasty.
And I can't believe you read my mind when you mentioned it was a Marxist thing.
Yeah. Our
First thing that came to mind.
Yeah, we
was Marxist.
have to own everything. We have to own our days.
Have you ever seriously sat down with Das Kapital or any of the works of Marx and just try to understand it from his perspective? Because he's a very angry, silly person, I think.
And as I was reading it, I had to stop myself in the middle of it because I was totally sure that I was reading Groucho Marx. It was written by Groucho Marx. So I had that in my head. Maybe I Harpo at some points too, but I just had those faces,
You didn't
tied to that name, and it totally ruined the experience of reading it.
Now, you didn't realize you were reading Groucho Marx when he mentioned slapping people with rubber chickens.
No, it felt it felt natural, Spectre is haunting Europe.
Would you consider yourself a Groucho Marxist?
Oh yeah, of course. I learned that from you two. Would you care to expound upon our belief system? Even though I am a Groucho Marxist / Latter-day Christian missionary to the Congolese people.
They call me Groucho Marquez in the Congo.
Oh. Is that a literary joke?
Well, it's because I'm more into the Western Congo, where the Spanish are.
Did you share any of your Groucho Marxism with the people of the Congo?
No, because I had the name and little else. And I think I was waiting for that literature to come, in conveniently travel-sized bags.
Now, do you
duffel
still
bags to give to the Congolese people.
Do you still believe in Groucho Marxism, even though you are Mormon?
I don't think they're co-exclusive. Like I feel like I could believe in both. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's a conflict between either.
Because one's economic, one is,
Yeah.
is ethereal.
Well, funny that you should claim to be such an ardent Groucho Marxist when, of course, you can't even expand upon the tenets of Groucho Marxism.
But can you tell me someone that can expound upon any tenets of any political belief?
Generally, no. I don't think anyone is very well versed at anything.
No. We're all just frauds.
Yeah, we cover for what we believe with a lot of passion,
Rhetoric.
Generally, our emotions speak what we really believe. It's not really coming from a place of being well-read.
No.
I heard Coney was really well read.
In what?
HP Photosmart. We are brought to you by. That is the promo code Muammar Gaddafi.
I dare you to spell it correctly. Well, you know what? The only way to spell it correctly would probably be to write it in Arabic. I'm guessing there's one consistent way to do it in Arabic, and it's a transliteration problem.
Can you write it in gum Arabic?
I suppose.
Why are you looking at me? I don't know gum Arabic.
That's what they use to make gummy bears, and
Oh.
it's yeah. I apologize. Sorry. So I wanted to try something new. There's a new segment, and it's
And I am the Congolese guinea pig.
you are the Congolese guinea pig.
And you are God, so you should be pretty good at this.
Yeah, but this is called the lightning round, and
But I'm God, not Zeus, which is a pagan god. I'm the real God.
Oh, again,
So
again with the I'm a real God thing.
yeah. You're
Do we gotta
really
go through this?
you need to be humbled.
I'm an
Pat.
awesome god.
You need to be humbled, and that's why we're doing the lightning round.
I
So-
fear this.
So the lightning round is I'm just gonna name things off this little list that I made, and you just have to. I'm just gonna blurt out a name or a word,
Okay.
and you just have to tell me, give me 10 seconds of what you feel about that.
Okay. I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
These have to be earnest, sort of deep from your soul answers.
Yeah.
I always answer that way.
Yeah, we don't want shallow, superficial answers.
Yeah. So the first one on the list
Okay.
for the lightning round. Are you ready?
Yes.
Julio Iglesias.
Julio Iglesias, I heard his son has a small penis. He admitted it in front of a live crowd. That's okay, because I think that's good honesty.
Tommy Pastrami.
I'm only aware of that name in the sense that it rhymes, and I have no idea if that's a cartoon character.
It's a restaurant.
It's a restaurant, okay. I have no idea about the restaurant, but I think that's a good name for a restaurant because we like catchy, rhyming things.
Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler, he was in 300, I believe, so he apparently has a large gay following.
Gary Glitter.
Gary Glitter. I only know rock and roll, and then the other rock and roll part 2, and then that his computers were confiscated.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, Capote, and he was really good in a movie called Pirate Radio.
Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice. I actually know a band that wrote a song about Jerry Rice, and I was actually a big fan of Jerry Rice when I was a kid. I was a San Francisco 49ers fan.
Danny Glover.
Danny Glover, another black man who I was a fan of.
Yeah, there
Operation Dumbo Drop.
There are a lot of those, especially in the Congo, I've heard.
Yeah.
There comes some of your hidden racism, being God and all, of the Congo.
I didn't see it as racism. I just saw it as an inherent pattern, a structuralist pattern in your lightning round little game.
I'd call it a Floydian racist slip.
Floydian?
Floydian,
you know what?
Floyd.
I'm going to go out on a limb.
He was always ignored.
Floyd Mayweather.
He was
Floyd.
Floyd. He was
name was
Freud's cousin.
Freud.
Yeah, Freud.
Yeah. And incidentally, he was a Jungian.
It was what?
He was a Jungian or a Jungian.
Yeah.
So that
was a young
really
boy, too.
incensed Freud.
He was also really into the song "Welcome to the Jungle," or the Jungle, as he would call
well,
it.
he time traveled to the 90s to hear it, enjoy it, go back to his time,
And die.
and and die. Exactly.
The lightning is fizzled. The sky is clearing, but
Okay, God.
Here it goes.
John Jones versus Vitor Belfort.
Are you asking for a pick? Because I picked Chael Sonnen.
Controversial answer. Home Depot.
Home Depot. I have nothing to say about them except that I've bought popcorn there once because they used to have a popcorn machine. Yeah.
That's another great thing about Downey, California. Our Home Depots have popcorn.
Yeah, I'd just like to say I go to Home Depot exclusively for the popcorn.
Don Johnson.
Don Johnson. I'm not quite sure if I... Who is that? Don Johnson.
Miami
Vice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that says it. Miami Vice.
He was also Nash Bridges.
Nash Bridges. Never watched it.
Okay, how about Deepak Chopra?
What isn't there to say about it?
Chopra.
Chopra?
Chopra.
Yeah.
Well, he aligns his chakras.
He does. With Deepak Chakra. Deepak Chakra and Deepak Chopra.
Yeah, it's actually
align their
it's a
chakras
topical
together.
cream. Deepak Chakra. Available at CVS.
One of our sponsors.
Put in the promo code.
I can't remember.
Man, Micrinus.
Micrinus.
Maury Povich.
Maury Povich. Terrible show, but good for afternoon viewing when you're home from school.
Basset Hounds.
A dog that I would like to own one day. But I am God, so I created what I will one day own. So
you can just make one right now.
Yeah, you'd think you'd already own it.
Land of Lakes.
The butter.
Yeah,
Excellent butter.
that was a lie, God. Tommy Lasorda.
The worst video game that has ever been sponsored or has been a sponsor of this podcast.
Okay, we'll have to excise that answer for the sake of Tommy Lasorda, who we love.
Guys, this is all a lie. You know it's a lie. He's perfectly fine.
Well, you're God, so you cured him.
Yes, I did.
And you should know.
And he's fine now. So we don't even have to use the video game.
No, he's hurting, and he's hurting badly. And the only way to help him is to
Because he's a
fund
sinner,
him.
Owen. He's a sinner. The Dodgers...
What did Tommy Lasorda do?
He did everything that left us in our Dodger haze that we had the last few years.
Tommy Lasorda gave us great happiness. He was a terrific manager, and the Dodgers were actually worth a shit in the 80s and early 90s.
Did you know that Tommy Lasorda in the Old Testament, he's actually responsible for original sin?
With who?
With
Gout.
With gout.
No, I'm just reading off
they
the
were a
next thing.
couple.
I was just thinking of the next thing on the list.
Well, actually,
It's gout.
from henceforth, they will be a couple of bumps on a log.
Well, I heard that with the help of Hasatan, that old serpent, he
Also known as Ron Say.
yes, he united with Lilith, who of course was the alternative to Eve, and they went on to make a child of their own, a hellspawn, the seed of Satan. Who
Tommy Lasorda.
Yeah, oh no, I'm talking about Tommy Lasorda. Tommy Lasorda, with the help of the devil, mated with Lilith.
That's not true. That didn't happen.
Well, I'm just saying I heard this. I'm not saying it's true. I mean, you're God, you can confirm.
Yeah. I'll let it happen.
Next thing on the list. God.
What can I say about myself?
Micrinus.
Here I am. I'm still talking about myself. Can I talk about myself some more?
No, Micrinus.
I created it for people like you who don't let me finish talking about myself.
Okay. How about Macronus?
I created it for people like me.
Who are gods. So you created yourself.
Yes.
That's pretty badass.
What God wouldn't create himself?
That's pretty dope.
Yep.
I heard you create yourself every night when you were alone and lonely.
That's how the world came to be.
Yeah.
Lonely nights.
The last thing on the list is Sasha Grey. You did a good job on that one.
I did, and you're welcome, and you're welcome.
Man, God is so condescending.
You're welcome twice. That's for each nipple.
Yeah. I don't have to thank you, or I don't. I don't need thanks for the organs that help procreate, because that's your guys' ballpark. Much like Tommy Lasorda exists in ballparks.
But you created Macronus for yourself.
Yeah, for myself. I'm the only one.
So nobody has Macronus.
It's Phallus Day, God's penis. The only one.
Do you manscape or do you godscape?
I Godscape, of course. Because landscape, that would be that's the world.
Now, what kind of design do you have down there?
The artist formerly known as Prince.
Yeah.
That's not his symbol. That's my symbol. He stole it from me. I sent it to him in a strange vision.
Yeah.
I still use the Netscape browser.
On your penis?
No.
That seems like a non sequitur to me. Where did that come from?
Our sponsors are Legal Zoo. Well, all right, we've reached an hour.
Is that the cutoff?
Unless
I think when you're having a deep conversation with God, and you have reached the end of your Prodcast, you got to go a little farther anyway.
Yeah, but I have a confession to make, actually.
What?
It's kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
You're Micronus?
I'm not God. I'm a fraud. I'm just Patrick.
Are you God in Congo still?
No, they were all lies. Even the Congolese trip at the last minute.
I just gasped.
This whole Prodcast has been a big lie.
Were you at Tacos Gavilan this whole time?
I was.
God is crying, everyone.
I'm actually not disappointed. I'm actually proud of God for. I mean, Pat.
You don't know how hard it is.
Pat's actually having a seizure right now. He's not crying.
It's tough crying.
Well, it's difficult for God to tell the truth sometimes.
Well, what if God was one of us? Just a stranger on a bus.
Then you'd
trying to make his way home.
Then you'd be a late 90s hit song.
Yeah. What was her name? Joan. Not Joan Collins.
Not Joan Baez. Damn it.
Not Jet.
Are we just going to name off Jones?
No, it most certainly wasn't Jet.
Not of Arc, either.
No, it wasn't Joan of Arc.
Oh, man.
She's separated by many centuries, of course.
Not Jonah Hill.
Separated by sex and gender.
Yeah.
I guess we're just going to have to end this.
Not Jonah Hex. That was a terrible comic book and movie. Well, I demand, we're at the risk of horrendous silence, that we really do conjure this name up.
Joan.
Even if it takes stunning silence to reach that name.
Or me repeating the last words that you say after you say them in true radio fashion.
I don't even remember who we're trying to think of.
The one that's saying, if God was one of us.
Man, who cares?
It's something Joan.
And the irony of it is that we have a computer right here. But we're going to force ourselves to think of it. Because 3 brains should be powerful enough to trump Google.
Well, we need to continue that training. We need to continue exercising that part of our minds. Because we've gotten so lazy nowadays.
Yeah, we have.
With the internet, where we literally have the internet think for us.
We should take some supplements from GNC that
a potential sponsor.
Yeah,
Joan Osborne.
Joan Osborne. We just thought of it because of those supplements that we just conjured up.
It was that
Joan
for
Osborne.
sure.
And I don't think she had a follow-up hit. God bless her heart.
Heathen.
Despite not having one.
Heathen.
Yeah.
She's a heathen. She sold her soul for that.
Ozzy Osbourne or Joan Osborne?
I don't think there's a question.
Well, it depends on what phase you're talking about. Because
I'm talking about who would you sleep with?
I would sleep next to Ozzy.
I think I'd use Ozzy like a body pillow.
But he's kind of, I would assume he's kind of bony now. He's got the bony elbows, but he has like the paunch.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Who do you think smells better? Ozzy Osbourne or Joan Osborne?
Ozzy for sure.
What kind of smell?
He probably smells like money and cocaine.
Yeah. Maybe some...
which kind of smell the same, I'm pretty sure.
Some perfume from 1968, a world tour or
some
something.
patchouli, maybe.
Patchouli.
What do you think Joan smells like?
Old patchouli.
Unemployment offices.
That was low, bad. But she gets low on her knees now. She's actually on the side of the pearly gates with Graham Parsons right now.
I think this whole hour was just in preparation for the start of the podcast, which is starting right now.
Yeah. No, this is the rebirth. This is the Renaissance.
The return. Mm-hmm. Eternal recurrence.
Do her Johns humiliate her by saying, do the song,
She has to sing it with their Macronus in her mouth. Or Macrinus. She doesn't discriminate. She just wants money.
Because life is tough for a one-hit wonder. Just ask Gary Glitter.
She's going to launch a Twitter tirade right now. She probably has a very well-followed Twitter account. She's going to get word.
Why'd you get you so serious right now?
She's going to get word.
Because he's scared.
You're really into Joan Osborne.
Joan Osborne. And she is going to let us have it. Like she has all her Johns. Her numerous Johns.
So we are sponsored by Hewlett-Packard.
Schwinn bicycles.
Check out all their Photo Smart printers. If you put in the promo code.
If you print out the promo code. And mail it to them.
Man, what was
you have to snail mail the promo code. That's very important.
Man, what was the
you cannot email
promo
it.
code?
Congolese? Let's just go with that.
You have to print it out on papyrus paper and then put it in a small canoe.
And you have to use the font papyrus.
Yes. And then you send it on its way like Moses down the river. And then eventually, months later, they get the message, and then you'll be able to save.
And we will reap the benefits of their sponsorship. All the while.
LegalZoom.com. Put in the promo code and receive 30% off all of death certificates, last will and testaments,
marriage licenses,
all that fun stuff. Optic-remix.com for all your sunglasses needs. Buy 2 pairs, get 1 free pair of sutras. Opticremix.com for really awesome shit. And it's summertime and you need sunglasses and they're cheap. And free shipping. And it's good. Bear Paint, BEHR, for all your outdoor painting needs. CVS Pharmacy, Team Fame,
Zappos.
I have to give them the promo code.
Oh, that's right.
CVS Pharmacy, put in the promo code Macrinus and get 35% off all nail care products.
Tommy Lasorda Baseball?
Tommy
Lasorda Baseball for the Sega Genesis is celebrating either its 20th or 25th anniversary. I'm not sure. We'll have to check in with Tommy Lasorda's family over that. But Tommy Lasorda is unfortunately in his sick bed. He's accepting funds. If you download the game, the proceeds go to him and his family to help him recover from either gout or Macrinus. We're not sure.
And our moment of silence for him was actually about 10 minutes previous in this podcast. So,
yeah,
Tommy, we're with you.
And only God knows whether it's Macrinus or gout. And unfortunately, we found out God was a fraud.
He's no longer God.
And hopefully Joan Osborne will visit Tommy Lasorda in the hospital.
Well,
on the bus.
Going back to Marx, God is dead.
Actually, Nietzsche. Actually,
Yeah.
Hegel.
They're all fucking the same person. That's what I read in history nomics. History nomics. Any other? Zappos.
Yeah.
Zappos. Put in the promo code Prodcast and get free shoes for life.
Absolutely. Go do that.
So, sir,
I suppose we're ready to close out.
yeah, this was a good one. This
In
was a
some
good one.
circles, this was a good one.
We're still in our infancy. I think there's room to
And
grow.
it never stops because, or never ends, I should say.
Nope.
As we've talked about before, this is just, we're going to hit the pause button. And it's just going to keep going forever. Circumambulation, Buddhist gardens,
Right. Sand mandala.
yoga mats, funny hats, Kentucky Derby, hard hats,
Super sunglasses.
Supras or Sutras.
Sutras.
Free. There's Supras also, and free shipping and no taxes. Buy two get one free. Optic-remix.com. So I think, yeah.
PryantandBat. Prodcast Hourn.
Or should we say PryantandBat Prodcast Hourn with Owen?
I suppose, yeah.
part
if
of
you
it,
want to
yeah.
include
Orrin
him.
Hatch.
Orrin Hatch.
Yeah, great Republican Senator, Orrin Hatch.
We'd like to thank Owen Schumacher for being on the podcast. I'd like to thank Patrick for admitting that he's not God.
It took a lot of courage to say that.
It did, and I'm sorry that you guys saw me cry.
Well, I'm sorry that you let down so many Congolese children.
I'm sorry you had a seizure, too.
Yeah. Now, see, I heard that when you were over in the Congo, to convince him you were God, you played What If God Was One of Us by Joan Osborne.
It's still playing there. I actually had a CD player over an intercom, and it's still on loop.
And they're still crying. they're still smitten. They're so emotionally.
Yeah, it's going to be a long and hard letdown.
And now we know why Joan Osborne has so many Twitter followers.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, she has a whole country behind her.
Whole country.
Yeah. Oh, she's definitely had a whole country behind her.
King Magazine. Back issue. Yeah, we're going a little overtime. So, good night, goodbye,
Good afternoon.
sayonara.
Take it sleazy, everyone.